Hello, I'm Danny, and I just wanted to do an unboxing of the Marshall Uxbridge. I guess that's how you say it. That's a weird way. It's a weird name. I hadn't seen any reviews on it, so I own a lot of Marshall speakers, the consumer versions, not the actual like guitar amps, and they have a really good warm sound. Obviously, I own a few more than that, probably too many. Let's open this bad boy up. There's a nice little black seal on it that covers some sort of descriptive writing that it's trying to sell you on the product. A little cute, little fancy pull-out thing. It's fun-sized. Quick start guide. Safety legal. There's no aux jack, so. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so you're literally buying just the Marshall speaker with the same kind of like weird tweed surface on it that's made out of fabric and pretty much the same materials as the bigger ones. The sides are not actually the pleather that they normally use. It's actually just plastic. Looks a little bit cheaper in that sense. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of just plastic. Let's get these nice little dongles. Oh, those are metal. Okay, they're metal. They kind of look plasticky, but they're actually metal. Yeah, it's literally only got a power input, so we'll see how this goes. So we'll plug it in. Okay, let's try it out. Just gonna plug it in. It has a
setup mode.
Oh, okay.
Follow the instructions in your device's companion app. Sorry,
no.
Your device lost its connection.
Well, of course it did, because I haven't signed you up yet. Connect the power. Download the voice app and follow the in-app instructions. There's a firmware update. This can take up to 10 minutes. There's nothing like opening up a package and installing all the apps. Marshall would like to access your services from Amazon.
Your device isn't registered. For help, go to its companion app.
I am working on it. I was going to review music at one point.
Your Alexa device is ready.
Yep. On this. I can't change the wake word, so I was kind of hoping it would have something like that. So I'm going to bleep this out. Play Mozart.
Shuffling songs by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart
That
on
sounds
Amazon Music.
way better than it did when it was setting up. Play Sleepers Awake by Bach.
Here's Vokadev, Ruftunsteichstimme, BWV 140 Sleepers Awake, Vokadev, Ruftunsteichstimme, Ari Ormandy for Orchestra, by Eugene Ormandy and Johann Sebastian Bach, on Amazon Music.
Non-copyrighted music. I'm so conflicted right now. It sounds really good, but this song is horrible.
Like, and I just think he took the right people, so
Large numbers of foreign visitors, airplanes, crammed tour buses and ships, as well as international destinations welcoming.
I will say I think the Acton still sounds a bit better, but it doesn't have quite as defined of a mid-range as this one does. This one sounds a bit more defined and accurate. It doesn't seem to have quite the soul that the Acton does, and I know I'm just talking about like maybe imaginary stuff for speakers, but the Acton definitely has like a warmer sound to it, whereas the Uxbridge has a little bit more of like a robotic thing, and that might be just because it's a smaller speaker with like a sharper high end to it, so you might have to mess with the treble. Not a huge difference, but I think the Acton actually looks a little bit better too, so it's got that going for it. Let's stop. So sound-wise was actually pretty surprising. It sounds pretty good. For a speaker of that size, I really don't have any complaints. I don't think it would replace a Stanmore or an Acton necessarily, but it sounds pretty good. And for having this feature built in, talking to the network is not bad. I'm already having network problems though, so I'm trying to add this to my Everywhere network. So for example, all my other devices here are connected to the 5G and the non-5G network, and they can all talk to each other on the Everywhere network for my music. I wouldn't be surprised if that was already on their other speakers. What I was kind of hoping for when I bought the Uxbridge was that they would probably have fixed most of the voice control stuff. So yeah, she heard me from all the way over here. I love you.
That's nice of you to say.
What's the weather like? Okay, she didn't hear that. I'm about 10 feet away. Whoop, my other one heard it. Yeah, so that one heard it, and that one's way further away. Play Beethoven. Okay, she heard me that time. Response.
Shuffling songs by Ludwig van Beethoven on Amazon Music.
Drums. Okay. So nowhere near the amount of bass, which was to be expected, but the near field is really nice. So like listening to radio might be something really awesome for this speaker. Stop. Yeah, so as far as like the voice recognition, it's just really not that bad. It's not quite as sensitive as the my other devices as I was testing from about 10 feet away, but it heard me. It heard me over music if I accentuated myself, so I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. The pros would be the sound is surprisingly clear, crisp, and well-defined in the mid-range. Like voices sound pretty accurate from my ear. Cons would be the build quality seems cheaper than like the Stanmore or other devices that have like the pleather. It just doesn't feel quite as solid. It doesn't feel super cheap, but it just doesn't feel like, you know, it's, no, it doesn't have that. Yeah, one thing I think Zound Industries, who makes these things, keeps doing, they keep trying to make them cheaper. I actually have another Zound speaker here that I think actually sounds a bit better. Maybe not as clear in the mid-range, but this is called the Rallis. This speaker has way more bass. It's also made by Zound Industries. I don't think it sounds maybe quite as crisp as this one, but it sounds really good overall. And it comes with a little handle. The materials are nicer too. It's also plastic, but it's got like some sort of like sanded feel to it. It feels more complete and put together versus this one, just sort of a really, I don't like the plastic finish on it, to be honest with you at all. It feels like cheap and unfinished, like they were trying to make it as cheap as possible. So for $200 price tag, that's not very good. I got mine for like $180, so not the full price, but yeah, is it worth it? I'd say you're probably better off getting the other voice speakers versus this one, unless you have a specific need for a very small speaker. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my review.